Well. How are we doing again? This is our weekly update for Veterans Council Veterans, for all our fans out there who want to know what we're doing with Veterans Council Veterans. It is now the 6th of August, and I got to make sure I correct that on my ticker here. That's why I need an assistant here when I do these kind of things here. So, hey, welcome, guys. Welcome for finally getting the end of this week here so we can see what's going on with Veterans Council Veterans. We have a lot to talk about, as usual. One of the things I try to do with Veterans Council Veterans, we always try to make it better. So, and I will continue to do that. One of the ways I'm going to do that is I'm going to have a couple more chats out here. Although I'm an introvert, I think it's important that I stay engaged. You guys know what we're doing in Veterans Council Veterans because no one will know. So you'll see me a little more often. You have what I call the the daily morning chat. And those morning chats, I'm just going to talk about me a little bit and then kind of what's going on. So it's not going to be an official like VCV update, but it's going to be something what's going on with the future. So that'll happen on Monday. It's definitely Monday and probably Wednesday. I also want to add in something as well. It's called My Hero. Oftentimes, the mainstream media and all those kind of people want to sit there and try to tell me who our hero are. And I don't need that. I know who my heroes are. And so we're going to starting next week on Thursday, we're going to start having who identifies being our heroes. And sometimes these heroes can be national, like General Orlando Brown, who has now become the first branch chief for the military, or Jody McDaniel, or it could be a regular person who have overcome lots of obstacles. And one person I know for exactly like that is like Cam Williams. So you'll be hearing that once a week. We're talking about our heroes that we consider as heroes, and not somebody just try to give upon us. So, but let's go back and let's start with what we did last week. And I'll do a real quick recap. First, if you guys remember, we had a Chad Lennon on, and he was the Marine who's an actual lawyer, and then he's also reserve commander. And he did a 66-mile walk that started on the 1st of August and ended on the 2nd of August. And I like to have, he has some pictures and stuff, so I like to have him back to give us an insight of what that felt like, who he saw out there, and that kind of stuff, and what did he accomplish what he accomplished to set out to do. So he did this, and he's broken up, tired out, 66 miles in New York on Long Island is not no joke. And I'm hoping that with that walk that Chad was able to sit there and bring and continue the awareness of veterans when it comes to suicide. Also, I want to sit there and talk about our podcast. We have a podcast that's generally on weekly, normally on a Monday, where we sit there and we talk about veterans and their family issues from either the family, military sexual trauma, veteran suicide, or referrals. And I'm telling you guys, we're going to have a really, really good podcast come out really soon, because one of our podcasts we talked about was when we talked about special skill and military sexual trauma triggers. We noticed that people kept saying, "What's SHARP? What's SHARP?" Kept hearing words of SHARP and SART. And SHARP, of course, is the Sexual Harassment Assault Response Program. And they're the ones that really are the ones that's supposed to be the standard bearers and make sure that the post adheres to the sexual assault and harassment protocols and who that person's supposed to go to. Well, we're going to have two, not one, but two SART coordinators that will be on our podcast. One will be coming out of Belgium, so you get the international appeal, but and you'll get somebody from here from the United States. Florida Pinellas will be Major Neal. She's the Army MedCom's SHARP coordinator, and we're going to have them on as well with our tribe, because our tribe will consist of D'Amica Jackson, who D'Amica is she was a SHARP program coordinator when she was in the military, also a military sexual trauma survivor. We're going to have the Lynn Geyser, a advocate, women veterans advocate, and big time on top of military sexual trauma. And then finally, we're going to have Lakeisha Houston, who is one of our tribe, a valued member of the Veterans Council Veterans tribe, and she'll be coming from the active duty point of view when it comes to the military sexual trauma and SHARP, how effective this SHARP really is. So that's exciting. I'll keep you guys informed as we continue on. It looks like it's going to be the second week it's going to be like the week of the 17th of August. We're just kind of get everybody coordinated. One thing I learned about the podcast is the more you have, the more hard it is. It's like a Rubik's Cube of trying to get everybody aligned together to be on. So I like having more than just one, because I like having more than one point of view. So that's something that's coming on as well. One thing I also want to address with Veterans Council Veterans, we have this, recently we had this mob mentality. I addressed it on our weekly update, where everybody's protesting, everybody's angry, nobody hears each other. It's everybody just mad. And when you're angry, you know, that shuts up a part of your brain that doesn't want to communicate. And we just need more listening instead of more shouting. And that's what I want to hopefully address is with these podcasts, because I want to sit there and with the cooler heads prevail, and we have a good conversation and not a shouting match and a blame game. All I see right now, I looked on the news media, is people pointing fingers at each other, and we need to step away from that. That's what our kids do, and we need to start looking at what we need to do as civilized, reasonable, rational people. So I'm hoping with my podcast, I can bring the temperature down and let's start having some conversations. I can tell you when it comes to military sexual trauma, and which is a phrase that was coined by the VA, the military's got a lot to do and they got a lot to answer for. And I'm looking forward to, I've seen the Secretary Esper on talking about what was going on at Fort Hood. I'm really looking forward to the outcome. I know that we all think, even me, that there'll be some cover up and some, small and muted out, whatever. So we know we're not get the real deal, but whatever we can get out, I want to know what's going on. I wanted people who are accountable to be accountable. I want to make sure that the sharp are doing their job and the people are doing their job. The leaders and not just the officers are responsible, but so are the NCOs. They're all responsible when it comes to military sexual trauma or harassment of our young soldiers, and even older soldiers that go on. So I'm really curious about that as we move forward, and I'll be watching that as it unfolds going on. Finally, we have the new members, and I'm telling you guys, we got a lot. And usually I will sit there and call out all our new members. We got so many new members that even you only see a few that's on a ticker right there. That I'm gonna have a special program just to announce the members. And these new members are normally going to be on our Veterans Council Veterans Facebook group. And that Facebook group, we have almost 560 is growing, where it consists of military veterans, spouses of military veterans, and then some civilians who have military experience. And we all get together and we start to conversate, we mentor, we collaborate, we network, and we're really doing some stuff. We got some people really putting out some good information, asking good questions. We got David Kendrick, who's really asking some good questions about there. We have Harris. We got James Harris asking good questions. So we want people who come to that Facebook group, and it's on Veterans Council Veterans group. And you have to ask, and you have to meet those criteria: either a veteran, a spouse of a veteran, and being in mental health, or an advocate. We will also want advocates to come in there and really discuss things and try to make us better. Because we go with that group, we have people who are just starting out in the mental health professions, going to school, people who have been in, we got PhDs and been in for a long time. So we've got a lot of new members. I'm going to have a special program just to introduce the members. So stay tuned for that. Finally, as we about coming to close to this update, again, like I said, we're going to have more introductions. I'll have more programs with the Facebook Live. We're going to have or at least twice a week, we're going to have morning chats where we just talk as people. Hey, I'm you, you're me. And then we're going to have a hero where we can sit there and say, this is a hero. That is a hero. We don't like, especially as veterans, people telling us who our heroes are. We know their criteria. We cannot lower the standard. The standard has to be high. And we're making sure our kids see that the standards are high. Because as we lower the bar of heroes, and that's going to lower the standard for our kids, we need to know our heroes are real heroes. And that'll happen on Thursday at 10 o'clock. You'll start seeing our podcast. Then you have our weekly update, which you're experiencing right now, on Fridays at 12. And then finally, we're going to have our podcast again, like I mentioned before, our podcast. Our next one, very, very, very excited about. It's going to be for sexual assault response coordinators or the sexual harassment assault coordinator program, SHARP response coordinator program. That'll be our next podcast. Well, that's it, man. And we're almost out of, I try to make this 10 real quick. If you have any questions, give me a DM. See if you have any comments before I go on. I got my Dr. Dan Damon. How you doing, Dan? I got your book. And I'll mention your book later on as well. Okay. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for being part of Coalition. And I'm excited about reading your book. All right. Until then, guys, this is Tony Williams from Veterans Council and Veterans.